Hello students, in today's video I shall explain digestive system for standard 9. This is the first video in the second semester for standard 9. It is written digestive system is a video number 1 for standard 9. In the beginning we'll start with, as usual, the definition of the process of digestion. Here it is. What is digestion? Answer is, digestion is a catabolic process takes place in living organisms when complex food substances are broken down to simpler absorbable substances by the enzyme action. Complex food substances are catabolically broken down. You have studied anabolism, catabolism, which is two parts of metabolism. This is catabolic reaction where complex food substances are broken down by enzymes into simple form so that they can be absorbed by blood, taken to the cells, and they can be utilized. So this is definition of digestion. Once again, the digestion is a catabolic process takes place in living organisms when complex food substances are broken down to simpler absorbable substances by the enzyme action. Please note down this definition. Any one of the two, the study material or this, you can write as your definition. Second question, continue with the study, is why digestion is necessary? You remember, we human beings and other mammals and most of the animals are holozoic in nature. Holozoic nature means they are taking complex food, and these complex food substances needed to be digested, otherwise it cannot be absorbed by blood. Here is the answer in a definite form. The complex organic food substances that which we obtain, which we eat from the food sources, which we obtain from the food sources. Food sources means different types of food, that means rice, wheat, vegetables, fruit, and all other things that you take from nature, or meat, eggs, milk, whatever it is. These are from other organisms. These are very, very complex biochemical compounds. They cannot be absorbed by blood. There is a very big and complex molecules. They cannot be absorbed by blood because they are very big organic compounds. As such, organic chemistry, if you study, then you will understand organic molecules are very big in size. And when these food sources we talk about, the substance, they are really big molecules. So they cannot be transported to the cells and utilized. The process of digestion do what? The process of digestion breaks those big organic molecules to simple absorbable ones. Hence it is necessary. Until and unless it reaches the cells, they cannot be utilized. So holozoic organisms always require digestion in their body to simplify these complex big organic molecules to smaller and simpler substances. This is the reason why this digestion process is necessary. Third question is, remember what we have discussed, that this process of digestion is affected by the substances produced in our body called enzymes. Then what are enzymes? What are their properties? We need to know about the substances that are called enzymes. In fact, enzymes are the one substances produced by living organisms make us living. All the living organisms remain living because of these enzymes. Let us see the definition of enzyme first. What is enzyme? Enzymes are specific proteins. They all are protein. Specific proteins produced by living organisms, which act as biocatalysts. Remember, catalyst you have studied in chemistry. They act as biocatalysts to enhance the biochemical metabolic reaction, not necessarily only digestion. It is also taking place in other anabolic reactions as well, like photosynthesis. There is also lots of enzymes are working, anabolic, catabolic, all the metabolic reaction that take place in a living body, plants and animals as well, are done by these enzymes, which act as biocatalysts to enhance the biochemical metabolic reactions in a living body. So it's not only digestion, but also any other reaction taking place in our body, in the living body, plants also, they are done by enzymes. So we need to know the properties of enzyme next. Properties of enzymes what? There are 7 properties written here. Number 1, enzymes are proteins. As I told you before, enzymes are proteins, specific proteins. Hence, they are destroyed by heating. You might have seen. Proteins are the substance which on heating first solidifies and then get destroyed. Most of the things that metals etc. that you see, when you heat it, first it will become solid to liquid and liquid to gas if you heat. But here it is the substance protein. If you heat, it will solidify first, then if you heat more and more very strongly, it will be destroyed. Second point is, one enzyme acts on only one kind of substance. One enzyme for one kind of substance, that is called substrate. So if you take one enzyme and you put it on another kind of substance, it will not having any effect. So one enzyme acts on only one kind of substance. 3. Each enzyme always produce same end product. Always produce same end products, because as I told you, they are very specific. They act on the same substance. So same substance, when they act, automatically the product also will be same. So each enzyme always produce same end products. Naturally, quite natural. Number 5 says, enzymes can be used again and again. It is only because they do not directly take part in the reaction. Remember what I said in the beginning? They are catalysts. Catalysts never take part in the reaction but enhance the reaction, either speed up or reduce. So enzymes can be used again and again because they are catalysts. Number 6, they act best within an optimum range of temperature. These proteins, enzymes, act best in an optimum range of temperature. In a tropical country like ours, the range is 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. In our tropical countries, that's why geographical distribution is also very important. In temperate climate, those who are living in cold countries, the optimum level of temperature is different, 15 to 25. Because geographically, the animals and plants are living there and they are adjusted with the situation. Enzymes also adjusted with the situation. So our tropical country, the range of optimum temperature is 25 degree to 35 degrees Celsius. Any increase or decrease of that temperature, enzyme action slows down. If it is below 25, below 25 slowly come down, it will slow down the activity. Whereas if it is above 35 up till 40, automatically the enzyme action will slow down. That's why when it is too hot or too cold, the living things slowly becomes inactive, and that is the result, the optimum range of temperature. And 7th and last point is, each enzyme acts best at a particular pH. pH means power of hydrogen. That means acidity or alkalinity of the medium where it is acting. It is acidic or alkaline. So that is important, because one particular enzyme acts on one particular acidity or alkalinity. Say for example, pepsin is a kind of an enzyme secreted by stomach. It is acting in acidic medium. If you put pepsin in alkaline medium, pepsin will not do any work. it will be inactive. So one particular enzyme is specifically acting in one particular acidity or alkalinity. So these are the properties of enzymes. Next we will actually go into the digestive system. Let us rub all these things. Now we will go on to the digestive system actually. Digestive system. It consists of two major parts. It consists of two major parts. Number one, the long muscular tube called alimentary canal, and number two, the digestive glands. The total thing, if we see as a whole, it is comprising of a long muscular tube, and together we call it alimentary canal, and associated glands with it are digestive glands. The long muscular tube is called alimentary canal and digestive glands. So first of all we concentrate on this one, the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, or it is also called gut. Also it is called gut. And this alimentary canal, let me remove the lower portion also. This alimentary canal is actually starting it from mouth and ending in anus. But it is a very long tube, approximately 9 meters. In this, in different regions, starting from mouth to different parts, their diameter, shape, size, structure, length, all are different. And that's why they are separately named. The long muscular tube starts in mouth and ends in anus. Starts in mouth and ends in anus. Different parts of it is of different shape, size, diameter, and structures, and hence named differently. Named differently, like mouth. Mouth is a part which is having a definite shape. Inside the mouth there are different structure like teeth, tongue and all those, palate and all those. Then there is a esophagus, is simply a tube. Stomach is a kind of a big diameter and muscular pouch type structures. These are the things. And hence the total length is approximately 9 meters, approximately 9 meters, and different parts of it having different lengths. 9 meters. The sequence of organs, separate structure and diameter and all those things are named differently and they are called organs. The sequence of organs in the alimentary canal is R, should be R, as sequence. I am showing you the flow chart over here. R, number 1 starts from mouth to the common passage that is called pharynx, Pharynx. Pharynx leads to esophagus. Esophagus is commonly called food pipe. OESO, PHA, so PHA, esophagus, then stomach, stomach goes into small intestine, small intestine leads to large intestine, or it is also called colon, and large intestine or colon ends up into rectum, and finally the anus. These are the organs which is sequentially connected with each other, forming the whole system. Mouth leads to pharynx, a common passage back of our mouth. Esophagus, the food pipe, we commonly call it food pipe. Then it is the stomach, the muscular organ, where food is churned and digested. Then small intestine, where digestion is completed. Largest intestine, where absorption of materials, water is done. Finally, the rectum, where the undigestible part of food is kept. And anus, which is indigestible part, that in fecal matter, is given out. So this is the total sequence of the organs in the system. I will add with it a particular picture diagram, and this diagram will show you the sequence of organs in the digestive system. You just observe it, take a screenshot of it and study it afterwards. Here is your picture diagram where you can clearly observe mouth, tongue, the glands, stomach and other organs. Please note that.